today. Lying down with a block on the belly. And so we'll shift our focus to, in yoga, sometimes it's called belly breathing because we're encouraging but not forcing the belly to move. Sometimes, and I've seen it sometimes where people will, it looks like they're really puffing their belly out and on the inhale, and that's not really what we're looking for. It's more a sense that we're not trying to like suck it in and restrict, but allowing the belly to move however much it wants to. Because when the belly is free to move and we're not holding tension in the abdomen, we can take a deeper breath. And that deeper breath where the belly moves, the diaphragm moves more, and it sends, best of all, a calming signal to the nervous system, which we could all use right now. When we breathe up in here, we have a lot of accessory breathing muscles, right? Because breathing is absolutely important. We need to be able to breathe because if we stop for even a little while, there's trouble. So we have built-in redundant systems so that there are muscles in the neck and the chest and the shoulders and the back that will help to like move the rib cage a bit, to lift the whole rib cage, to take a deep breath. And if you've ever, like for a lot of people, if we're not focusing on technique, when we take a deep breath, we naturally lift the shoulders and chest. It's like, and that's great. We're using all of them. But what we'd like to do in yoga, in order to encourage our nervous system to say, hey, everything's okay, is quiet and pacify some of the muscles up here. Because when they lift and they get really involved, it signals the body like, oh crap, am I in trouble? What's wrong? I'm breathing shallow and high. Where is the danger? So we're taking, even though we can breathe without thinking about it, we can also have an impact on our nervous system and state of being through the breath. So that's what we'll look at today. We'll lie down, we'll place a block on the abdomen, on the part that moves, and then we'll take a little bit of time feeling the way that it moves. There's no particular way that it needs to, but we're gonna notice. And the other thing we're gonna do, and if you roll your shoulders forward, see how your collarbones will pop up? Get your fingers right in, like there's a little gully below and a gully above. Get right on the collarbones and then walk up into the gully between the collarbones and the neck. And then sit up normally and take one of those like deep breath, shoulder lifted things. Can you feel all that's going on underneath there? Some kind of wiry, like ropey structures, some muscles maybe, some tension there. Or just tighten up your jaw and your face and your neck. Feel all that's going on in there. Yeah, and then relax. So when we lie down, we'll place our hands in the same spot and feel for what's going on there just when we notice, without trying to do any technique. And then can we make it a little more active like we just did? And then can we make it a little more quiet while the belly is free to move? And so our goal will be to quiet this area to allow the belly to rise and fall freely without forcing it. And in that way, send our nervous system the message of, you know what, right now, right here, you're safe. Everything's okay. Can't speak to the next day or even the next hour or the next breath, but right here, we're okay. All right? The good news is we don't have to know what's going to happen in the next, month or year. We just can allow ourselves to be here. I'm going to grab a block. You're going to lie down. Inhaling, exhaling at your normal pace. And you might take, just because we've changed position here, you might take a moment to hug the knees, to rock a little side to side. Say hello to the body. this down so you can see me. And then once you've taken a moment to rock, to get a little comfortable, place the feet flat on the mat, and that'll allow our spine to find its way into a pretty good neutral position. And as you settle in here, take your block and rest it right on the abdomen. So below the ribs, you feel for your lowest ribs, below your ribs. And then let the block just be there and place your fingers in that. You can roll your shoulders forward to easily, readily find the collarbones, walk your fingers up just like we did when we were seated. Then let the shoulders drop down for a moment. Tense the muscles in your neck, lift your shoulders. Notice what you feel under your fingers. Relax. Notice what you feel under your fingers when you relax. And do that again. Squeeze and notice, oh, there's a lot of activity happening. There may be both movement and like a sense of feeling, like muscles are engaging underneath, and then release. Now, as you breathe here, keep the hands in this location for a moment longer. You can have the eyes open or closed, whatever you like. The hands are listening here, and their job is to listen and notice as I take a breath in. Are those muscles tightening? Is there a lot of movement? We might exaggerate that. So take one of those big, deep breaths. Let the collarbones lift and the shoulders lift, and exhale and let it out. There's nothing wrong with that. It can really be useful to take one of those deep breaths and let it go. So let's do 2 more like that. Inhale, let the collarbones lift. Through the mouth, let it go. 1 more time like that. Collarbones lift, deep breath. Shoulders can lift too, that's fine. Exhale, let it go. Now, let this area around the collarbones, neck and shoulders be really quiet. And see if the belly can move a little more, but the chest, collarbones, throat, shoulders, see if that area can be a little quieter. We're not trying to completely eliminate the movement, but to effort less. And then you might take a kind of soothing, stroking movement of your fingertips across your collarbones to your shoulders. Be your own massage therapist here and encourage a sense of length and space across the collarbones. And then release the arms. Let the belly rise and fall any way it wants to. If it's comfortable, you can softly gaze toward the block and lightly notice that it's moving. Depending on the nature of the breath and also how the block might be positioned, it may go up a lot or a little, it may come up or down, it may have some wiggly spots or some still spots, that's okay. Allow the breath to move the block gently up and down. Not forcing anything. And we'll stay here for another moment. Gently now. Leave the block there and gently roll the head side to side. Minimal effort. As the head comes back to center, give the shoulders a squeeze and release. Give them another squeeze and release. And then leaving the block where it is for a moment. And stretch the right leg out long on your mat. Stretch your right arm overhead so the whole right side of the body is long. And while you're there, take a moment to rotate wrist and ankle on that side. Rotate the whole arm and the whole leg. So the leg rocks a little, the arm rotates, turning in, turning out. Take an inhale and stretch as long as you can on that side. And let the breath out, bring the arm down, bend the knee, take the other side out long. Leg stretches out, arm reaches overhead. Rotate the wrist, the ankle. Rotate the whole arm and the leg. The leg might rock in and out on the floor. And then lengthening, moving on this side. And back to center, bend the knee, and release the block, set it off to the side. Heel toe your feet mat width apart, arms out wide. Take generous windshield wiper movement side to side, sweeping the knees across. Now, return to center. We'll do one more round of windshield wipers, but we'll add a little extra rolling around on the floor to it. So as you rock your knees over to the right, roll toward your right shoulder and raise your left arm like you're reaching long behind you. So the left arm reaches behind you overhead and the left knee is reaching in the opposite direction. And as you come to center, the arms come back to their T position and go to the other side. When you roll onto the left shoulder, now it's the right arm that's reaching up and the right knee that's reaching away from it. Take a couple breaths into the space. And now let's go side to side. Inhale at center and exhale, roll to the side. Lengthen the arm and the knee away from each other and back to the center on an inhale and exhale to the other side. And just like that, a couple more times. Long and stretchy. Come back to center. Walk your feet back in. Bring your right knee into your chest. Give it a hug. Take your left leg, stand on the ceiling. Slowly lower your left leg until it touches the mat. Press the left heel down. Hug the right knee in. Take a breath in here, and as you exhale, pull the navel down and lift your nose up toward your knee. You can stay right here or raise the straight leg just an inch or so off the floor. You can stay right here or reach your arms toward your feet. Breathe, breathe. Breathe. And then slowly, slowly, slowly lower down. Bring both knees into the chest. Keep the knees side by side and circle them around. Go the other way. Keep the left knee hugged in. Stretch the right leg up in the air. And slowly lower it down. And touch the heel down. Keep it there. So these first few breaths are about finding the length and stretching out, especially the bottom leg, right? We spend a lot of time right now seated and on our screens. So give the thigh and the hip that space that it's yearning for. And now as you exhale, pull the navel down, lift the head and the neck. If you don't want to lift the head, you don't have to. These are all options. The only thing mandatory is the breathing. If you like, raise the bottom leg just an inch or so off the floor. If you like, reach the hands toward the feet. Definitely breathe and breathe and breathe and breathe and breathe and breathe. Slowly lower yourself back down. Bring both knees into the chest. This time, hands on the knee, one hand on each knee, rather, and circle the knees in opposite directions. Reverse. Take the feet down flat to the mat. Pull the navel down. Ooh, my back just did a little pop. I think it needed that. Pull the navel down, lengthen the low back, and then come to neutral. Do that a couple more times. Pull the navel down. Low back is flatter on the mat. Inhale, and again, exhale. Pull the navel down. Inhale, relax. We will use this position to lift ourselves into bridge pose. So we'll start with a tucked under pelvis and really strong abs, so we get a nice stable core as we start to come up. So remember, the abdominal muscles and the glutes for sure, and the back muscles all contribute to a nice long, low bridge. Pull the navel down, tuck the tail under. Think of lifting, like scooping up your tailbone and lifting your glutes up first, and then your low back, and then maybe some lower ribs. Pause wherever it's comfortable. We're going to do these several more times. Curl yourself down. Take your time. This is definitely one of those poses that the quality of the movement makes all the difference. Pull the navel down. Tuck under. Squeeze the glutes. I'm trying to get my glutes to lift up first. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And then I want the glutes to land last, right? As the pelvis kind of rolls back into neutral. Just like that again. Zip up the belly, curl the tailbone under. Now, for some of us, the curled under position will take hold a little too strongly. So remember that once you're lifted, let the spine find its way into neutral. Now I happen to have the reverse issue. My back wants to do a back bend all day long, whether I want it to or not. So for me, I think of stay tucked, stay tucked, stay tucked the whole time, but that might not be the thing for you, right? If you know that you tend to tuck under a little, let go of that a bit. The next time that you lift into your bridge pose, stay lifted. Squeezing the glutes, pressing the feet down as if they could leave deep impressions in your mat. And breathe and breathe and breathe. If you have a favorite arm position in bridge pose, feel free to take it. You can hold the sides of your mat. That might make things feel a little long. You can karate chop your mat. You can reach underneath you and interlace the fingers if you wish. The choice is yours. This is your practice. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure your glutes are working, your core is active, and then check in with the neck and the jaw and the shoulders. They might be helping too much. Can they relax a little? They're not really intended to be responsible for a lot of the lift here. Slowly, slowly, slowly lower down from the upper back, down to the lowest ribs, down to the low back, curling, 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 curling down, and then stay. When you get down, just stay. Don't hug the knees right away, just stay right here. Take a deep breath in, let the belly rise. Exhale, let it go. All right, now bring the knees into the chest. Let's take a twist, open the arms out wide. Take the knees to one side and then up and over to the other side. We'll go side to side a few times. It's one of my favorite poses in yoga for both the way it feels in my body and also because I like saying the name. The English translation is revolved belly pose, not especially exciting to say. But the Sanskrit name is Jatara Parivartanasana. Jatara Parivartanasana. Don't know why, but it just gives me great delight to say. Take the knees over to one side, leave them there. Breathe, breathe. If your legs are not happy here, your back is not happy here, feel free to adjust the position of your legs in service of making your back happy. And breathe. Breathe into the low back. Breathe into the side of the waist that's facing the ceiling and that same side of the rib cage as well. Take another breath in. When you're ready, exhale, zip up the belly, change sides. Same thing over here, adjust the legs in service of the back, adjust the arms in service of the neck. Inhale, exhale. Breathing into the side of the waist and the side of the rib cage that's facing the ceiling now. When you're ready, leave your knees on that side, roll yourself over and come on up to tabletop pose. Let's come to hands and knees and move the spine around. Have your hands underneath the shoulders, or the wrists rather underneath the shoulders. Remember, you can go to knuckles, you can go to forearms if that's better for you. And then from this position, lift the navel, round the spine, let the head drop. And hold this position for a moment, this Halloween cat rounded position. Press into, if your palms are on the mat, press into the whole circle of the palms. Spread your fingers, press into the finger pads. Press to the floor. Lift the upper back, lift the lower back, and let the head be heavy. Maybe the head wants to move around a little. What would that feel like? And now slowly, slowly, we will take several breaths to move into the other arch of the back. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Pull the heart forward through the gate of the shoulders. And now that we're in the back bend, take a few breaths. Pulling the chest through, upper arm bones are kind of holding things back while the chest goes forward. Breathe. Now, arching and rounding at your own pace. Exhale into the Halloween cat position. Inhale, peeling yourself up. Exhale, lift the navel, let the head drop. Inhale, arching, lifting, opening. Just like that. Spirit, the cat is the ultimate yogi. She is so relaxed. She cares not about the position called cat cow. She's doing her own cat pose, sleeping in a chair. Now circle your hips, circle your shoulders, circle your ribs. Feel all kinds of different ways you can circle and spiral and roll, move in whatever way the body wants to. You can't get this wrong. Come on back to center. Now bring the right knee into the chest. Curl in, curl up. Take the leg back, straight back behind you. Push with the foot. Pull the knee in, lift the navel. Push back through the leg. So pretend there is resistance, right? Like you're in one of those leg press machines and push back. It'll signal the muscles to work a little extra. Reach the leg back and stay there. Stay lifted. Pull the navel up toward the ceiling. If you like, extend the opposite arm, challenging balance as well as core. Make sure you're breathing. Add extra padding if you like. Reposition if you need. Breathing in, breathing out. Bring the hand down, bring the shin down. Between sides, let's lean the hips back. So you might keep the hips high. You might drop them down low like child's pose, but take a stretch for your back in between sides. Breathe in between the shoulder blades. Breathe from the bottom of the shoulder blades down, down, down over the low back, all the way to the back of your pelvis. And now slowly make your way back up. Reset, hands under the shoulders, shrug the shoulders down. Now the other knee comes in, pull the knee into the chest. Feel the work of the abdominal muscles hugging in. And then press back as if there's resistance to the foot. Pull the knee in. Press back strongly. Good. Pull the knee in. Press back strongly. Just like that. Press back and stay there this time. Pressing through the foot, zipping up the belly, reaching forward. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Just like that. And place the hand, place the foot. Leave the hips high this time. Walk the hands forward. Now you might keep the spine in neutral, or you might, keeping the low back exactly as it is now, let the chest melt down. So the thing to kind of watch out for is our neck and our low back tend to move readily, but our thoracic spine, where our rib cage is, that doesn't move so readily. So we want to ask the chest to melt, the whole thoracic spine to ease into a back bend, and then zip up the belly. Put the brakes on the low back a little bit. Now walk the hands in. Breathe while you're here. Take your hands, actually let's stay low. Shift your hips forward and let's come into a knee push-up. Shoulders, hips, and then we're not going to spend much time here right now, but we'll slowly lower down. Once you lower down all the way to your mat, zip up the belly, reach your legs back like your big toes can touch the wall behind you. Lift your shoulders up away from the mat toward the ceiling and I've got my hands alongside the chest. They don't have to be pinned in especially close. Keep the belly zipped up. Keep the legs straight. Pull the chest forward, forward, not up, forward until the head lifts, the chest lifts some, a low cobra, and then lower yourself down. I imagine that I'm lowering down longer than I came up, longer than I was when I lifted. Again, just like that. Keep the belly zipped up. Keep the legs straight and strong. Peel the chest forward. Curl down, nice and long. Just like that. Inhale. Peeling forward. Exhale. Coming down. Last time we'll hold. Legs steady and strong. Chest peels forward. Now raise the hands. Aim for having the wrists go up higher and the elbows come down lower. So you feel a little extra contracting work on the upper back. This is part of the antidote for curling forward and sitting down. Strengthen the muscles in the back body. Open up the muscles in the front of the chest. And slowly come down. Tuck the toes underneath. Press the floor away and walk your hands back. Let's take either child's pose or kneeling puppy. Kneeling puppy is one of the names that I like for this stretching out with the knees on the mat, the hips high. You can also go to child's pose, take the hips further back. Adjust the spacing between the knees so it's comfortable for you. And breathe. Ooh, it's a little warm in my space today. Now, return to tabletop. From tabletop, take one leg back, pick a leg, any leg, and with the toes tucked under and the legs straight. Zip up your belly, shrug your shoulders down. So usually we move the straight leg around, but this time use the straight leg as part of an important part of your foundation. Press into the floor with not just the heel of the hand, the whole circle of the palm, the finger pads. Lift your navel up and see if that bent knee wants to lift up. Maybe it's willing, maybe it's not so willing, but ask it anyways. The knee might come up, but the foot stay down, or both the knee and the foot can come up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Lower a bit, lift a bit. So we're in a plank with one knee in, and then we're in kind of a hunchback plank. Let's do it again. Lift the hips, curl it, lower the knee, come back to tabletop, walk your arms. Let's take the hands wide this time. So you can do kneeling puppy or child's pose with wide hands. I'm going to aim for a hip position where I can bring my forehead down. Relax the arms, the shoulders. Maybe the palms want to turn up. Maybe they're happier, turn down. It is your body. It is your choice. Breathing in, breathing out. Walk the hands back in. Find your tabletop to start. Reach the other leg back, toes tucked under. Zip up the belly. Same thing here. So even before I lift anything, it's like I'm messaging the muscles. Hey, I'm gonna need your help here. Get ready. We don't want to surprise the muscles in this case. So I'm starting to lift the belly as I press, and then I'm pulling the knee in. The hips lift up and around, and then I come down into more of a neutral spine. If the knee is willing to lift, great. Lift the hips up higher and then back into more of a plank. Hips up high, curl in, and then back to more of a plank. When you come down this time, same thing. Hips where you like them, take the weight off the arms and the hands. Let the arms and the hands and the shoulders and the neck rest. Whatever position that is for you. Take an exaggerated breath in and let it go. Take another generous breath in and let it go. Now walk the hands back in. Find your tabletop. From tabletop, shift forward in a knee push-up. We've been here before. Shoulders and hips and knees all line up. And then keep your core nice and cinched in. Slowly lower down. Uncurl your toes. Peel your shoulders up. Reach the chest forward as you come up into cobra. Come back down. Tuck the toes underneath. Knee push-up brings us back. Excuse me. Zip up the belly. Press the floor away. Now this time, as we're pressing the floor, bring the hinge at the hips. Bring your bum back like we're getting ready for tabletop, but our hands are a little further out in front because we're actually getting ready for down dog. Tuck the toes underneath. Lift your hips. Lift your knees. Take your feet as wide as they want to go. Have your knees as bent as they want to be. In fact, let's start by bending and straightening one leg at a time. While you're bending and straightening, press into not just the heels of the hands, but again, the whole circle of the palm. Every finger pad. Reach like your arms begin not in your shoulders, but in the back of your waist. Wake up the muscles in the upper back. You might lean the hips. Lean them over to one side. Oh, what does that feel like? Lean the hips over to the other side. What does that feel like? Let's do it again because that was kind of nice. Lean the hips over one way. Lean the hips the other way. And come on back to center. Breathe here. Maybe you take another few breaths in down dog and start to bring the heels down and back behind you. Maybe you're like, yeah, that's enough for me right now. Then start to walk the hands and feet together. We'll meet up in a moment in Uttanasana in a standing forward bend. So whenever you are ready, bring the hands and the feet closer to each other so you're standing folded over your toes. If it feels good, hold opposite elbows, allowing the upper body to hang. If that amount of upside down doesn't feel right for you today, adjust accordingly. You can always bend the knees, rest the forearms on the thighs. Find the most restful version of standing folded forward that you can. You might nod the head. You might do a little side to side movement with the head or sway the whole body while you're here. And when you're ready, root down into your feet and slowly come up. As you come up to stand, roll the shoulders. And check your feet. Get them organized so they're facing in the same direction. You choose the width of your stance so it feels steady today. And tilt the head. Let's take the right ear to the right shoulder. Breathe while you're here. Maybe the right hand wants to rest near the temples and encourage without forcing. Encourage the stretch without forcing. I like to move my other arm around. The arm that's down low, reach it out a little bit, rotate a little bit. And notice, where do you feel sensation? Notice the way it changes with subtle movements. It might be the intensity changing, the location, maybe both. A couple more breaths right here. We'll release the arms completely and roll the head to center and down. Chin to the chest, chin to the chest, chin to the chest. Little teeny side to side movements while your chin is down toward your chest. And then make your way over to the left side. Breathe. Breathe. Now left hand on the head if you like. Let the exhale stretch out. If you like, move the arm. If you like, move the head. Go slowly, go gently, feel your way into it. It's a continuous exploration, checking in as if to inquire, what's it like now? What's it like now? What's it like now? And release. Chin comes back down to the chest. Slowly, hands slide down the fronts of the legs, the knees can bend, and let yourself melt into a forward bend so the head hangs heavy. The feet are planted and will start to energize the body from the bottom up. So plant the feet firmly. Squeeze and activate the muscles of the legs. And zip up the belly strongly. Belly zips up and you slowly come up. Ragdoll, shoulders, neck, arms, head. Slowly come up. When you're mostly upright, now stack the shoulders on top and stack the head on top last. Once you're all the way up, take the arms overhead. Take hold of the left arm. I know you guys can't quite see my arms, but you'll take hold of an arm and you'll bend over to one side. Breathe here. Feel the length of the side, getting more stretch. Really send your breath like this side of the abdomen and the lung can expand more than it has all quarantine long. Inhale and exhale. We'll come up with an in breath. Release the arms for a moment. Roll the shoulders. Take the arms overhead. Inhale and over to the other side. Plant the feet up and over. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Guide the awareness over into this side of the waist and the rib cage. Fill this lung with the extra breath. Fill up that spaciousness. And when you're ready on an inhale, come up and exhale, release both arms. Let's melt our way down in a forward bend. Bend the knees, hands slide down the front of the legs. Pause when you're all the way down. You can leave the arms hanging, or if you like, you can hold the elbows again. Definitely breathe. Check in with the neck. Move it slowly. You might visualize letting go of an extra layer or 12 of tension in the neck and jaw. Maybe releasing some of the random thoughts in the brain here. Sometimes I like to think that I have a little lid on my skull and I can pop it open. It's like the container where we keep our dog kibble. I flip the
open the lid and some of those extra thoughts can pour out. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little less crowded. Put the lid back on and let's come up. Press your feet. Zip up the belly as you come up. Ragdoll arms and head. Zip up the belly the whole way. When you're almost all the way up, oh, there, now the shoulders can stack. And at the very last, the head can stack. Let's circle the arms. Inhale. Palms touch and then draw a line to your heart. Exhale. 2 more circles with the arms. Root down, reach to the sky. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale, root down, reach up. Exhale. And release the arms. Take your feet fairly wide apart. Turn your left toes in. Turn your whole right leg out. Heel to heel-ish. So while the legs are set up like this, turn not your pelvis, just your chest and shoulders to face forward. The pelvis will be doing its own thing, whatever it needs to do to negotiate what the legs are doing and then what the upper body is doing. Zip up the belly for sure. Open the arms out wide. Turn the palms up. Let's take a breath in and really expand. Out to the sides and up overhead. Inhale. And hands on the hips with the exhale. Keep the hands on the hips. Again, we're not trying to square the hips forward, just the chest and shoulders square forward. The pelvis is a little bit turned towards your right leg. Now, tilt sideways. Root into your left foot, tilt sideways, tilt sideways, tilt sideways. The right knee is maybe 98% bent. We're not aiming for much of a bent knee. Drop your right hand and place the back of your right hand on the inner leg. This is a nice position to use it for a little bit of leverage. As I press the back of the hand into the leg, oh, now it gives the chest a little more openness and the whole pose gets a little more kind of open and flat. The top hand can stay on the hip if you like. Sometimes that's a nice position to shrug the shoulders down. How long can your spine get here? Root into your feet. Zip up your belly. Breathe. Notice what happens if you move your bottom hand. Does the pose drop and collapse? Can the abdominal muscles engage? Can the legs support you so that your hand could move around, or it could come back and give you that little bit of extra leverage in the twist, but your core has got you. Maybe the top arm opens out in a spacious way. We're not trying to let the hand and the shoulder kind of get lost behind us. Open, spacious. Breathe. Bring the hand back to your left side, right? Like it's going to lift you up out of the pose, but we're not done yet. We're almost there. Let the arm come down to the floor. And now bring it up overhead. Inhale up. You're going to do that circle again. The arm comes down. Press the feet, zip up the belly, take a circle up. You can bend the elbow at any time. On this last circle, the arm will bring us all the way up out of the pose. Press the feet, zip up the belly, reach up and come all the way up. Ha, nice. Feet face forward. Before we go to the other side, we'll pause in neutral and take a forward bend. Circle the arms up overhead, both arms. Exhale, hands to your hips. Bend your knees, fold forward. Relax your neck, your jaw, your shoulders. Hands can stay on the hips if you like, or the arms can drop down. The arms might hang, the hands might touch the floor or the legs. The choice is yours. The actually, I want to say like 4 classic variations of this pose, and the main difference is the arms are in different positions each way. So you get to create your own variation. Breathe here. Press into your feet. Knees are bending as we come up. Zip up the belly, ragdoll, shoulders, arms, head. Press the feet slowly up to standing. We'll take a circle once we're all the way upright. Inhale, circle the arms. Palms together, exhale, hands to the heart. All right, hands to your hips. Let's go to the other side. Turn the right toes in. Turn the whole left leg out. Breathe here. So once you have this set up, zip up the belly. Your pelvis will be kind of looking out at a diagonal, but your chest and your shoulders are facing forward. By forward, I mean, I don't know, toward the screen if you're doing this facing me. Start to tilt out over your left leg, but keep your back leg strong. They used to say a lot in yoga, like pop your hip out to the side. Don't do that. Don't pop your hip really at any time. So hug in the muscles, in the glutes, in the whole leg, in your core. Keep it steady and stable as you tilt over. And you may feel a lot of sensation, right? Maybe it's stretching the legs. Maybe it's the work of your core, kind of keeping it all together. Take your bottom hand down to the inner left leg and use the back of the hand to turn your chest a little more forward. Press the feet, zip up the belly. Yeah, that's beautiful. You can do this in a kneeling variation too. Open the top arm. Breathe and breathe and breathe and breathe. So I was just watching on the screens to see there's a little bit of a kneeling variation of this happening, and it's really lovely, especially if you're feeling kind of, if your back's feeling tender, or you're feeling kind of juiced out or overheated. Now, slowly take the top arm back behind you down to the floor. By behind, I mean toward the right leg. Right, start to make that windmill, that slow windmill up, back and around. And again, on the last one, excuse me, on the last one, the windmill takes us up. Press your feet, zip up your belly. The whole body's helping so that you can follow the arm. Turn to face forward. This time, bend the knees, and you may adjust your stance so it works for you. Bend the knees and toes are turned out a bit in a wide-legged squat. If it's comfortable, the arms are locked and the hands are really firmly on the thighs. Now, I like to, when I twist over to one side, the hand that's behind, I like to use that hand to kind of remind that back knee to not follow me into the twist. It's saying, stay over there. Let me have some space. So twist to the right, but use your left hand to take your left knee away from you. Leave it back there. Give yourself some space. Come to center. We'll take a few breaths on the other side. You can drop down as high or low as feels right for you. As you're twisted to the left, your right hand is keeping the right knee way back there, inner thigh, nice and long. Now we'll move on the breath. Inhale to center, exhale, shrug and twist. Inhale to center and exhale with the twist. Inhale to center. Exhale with the twist. You'll go at your own breath pace. It doesn't have to match mine. Come to center.
And press into your feet slowly, 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 slowly come up. Inhale, make a big circle around you. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release the arms and roll your shoulders. All right, let's come down to our mats. If you have blocks handy, have blocks. If not, they are not mandatory. We did a high squatting, kind of a squatting position or goddess position a moment ago. Now we're going to go for a bit of a lower squat. So our mission here is to figure out how low the hips want to drop. Check in with all of your joints for what feels okay. So if your body says yes to having the feet shoulder-ish, maybe a little wider apart, bending the knees and dropping the hips way down, and squiggle your upper arms in between your legs, and then create some isometric resistance. The legs are hugging in while the upper arms are pressing out. And then I'm also thinking, oh, lengthen the lower back. Let the pelvis drop down here. And if that doesn't feel right, you can add, so for me, I just have the genetic, situation where my ligaments are fairly long and so my heels go down to the mat. It's not like I did anything special to earn that right. They just I was made that way in the factory. If your heels do not touch the ground, one way to create that sense of connection is to roll up a blanket or something, or even your mat. Roll it up so your heels have something to press into. And then you can get a bit of that extra activation along the back line of the body. And if all else fails, grab your blocks and use them as a seat. So if your body's like, oh crap, are you kidding me? Then sit on your blocks. Do what serves you well today. Most of all, breathe. We're almost down low. Well, we are down low. We're almost down onto our mats again. So unwind by any route. Come on down to a seated position. From seated, have your feet out in front of you, round your back, walk your toes in, and let the back round. So in this case, we're employing and engaging some of those top muscles, the rectus abdominis. They're going to engage to contract and round us forward, and we'll get kind of compact. You might have your hands around the shins or behind the thighs. Either is fine. And then lift yourself and find a little balance point. If it's elusive, try coming up onto the toes of one foot. Oh, what's it like there? And switch to the toes of the other foot. Maybe the arms lift. Maybe the legs lift. Definitely breathe. Maybe play with how low or high the body is off the floor. It's okay if it's wobbly. That's how we get stronger. Make sure you're breathing. Come to upright. Stretch your legs out. Lean a little back into your hands and swing your legs. Swing them in, swing them out, swing them in, swing them out. But from here, it might feel nice. You can come to either fingertips or to flat palms. If I'm on fingertips, I usually like to have my fingers face forward and my elbows try to point back behind me to get a lift in the chest. So remember, much like we've talked about today, zip up the belly. So I'm trying to get as much length in the spine as possible. And as I approach a back bend, I want to put the brakes on the low back. It's already naturally in a back bend. It doesn't need more. And then encourage that upward, backward arc in the chest where it's a bit more challenging. And then keep an eye out because the neck is already in a natural back bend, most likely, and is very willing to back bend more. So don't let the neck do all the back bend. Invite it to the party. Don't overdo. Remember to breathe. Bring your chin back down. Bring your chest back to neutral. Roll your shoulders. And we're going to swing ourselves around back over into what looks like tabletop to do a leg stretch. So from here, actually, hang on, guys. Let's go the other way. It's hot today. Let's lie down. You're gonna lie down. And we'll start with the right leg. Clasp the hands behind the leg, the knee is bent. Shrug your shoulders down, check out your neck, roll your head a little. Bottom knee is bent for our purposes here. Now this first stretch we'll do, go ahead and send your thigh away. So this is we're creating resistance here. Don't overdo it, right? Don't go nuts so you're pulling your body up, but resist the thigh into the hands into the thigh, and then the leg goes however straight the leg wants to go. Take a few breaths. Bend the knee, let it drop in, relax all the effort in the neck, in the shoulders, in the leg, in the arms. And then again, take the thigh away so it's resisting into the hands, and then straighten the leg any amount. How do you know how straight to go with the leg? What do you feel in the back of your leg? If there is a lot of stretch, a lot of sensation in the back of the leg, you have arrived. It doesn't matter how straight it is. If there's not much sensation, we'll go ahead and straighten your leg and keep the resistance in both cases, and then release. Good, now let's keep the same leg, one side of happy baby. The knee comes to the outside, hold behind the thigh, give it a rock. If you want, walk the hand up the shin or toward the foot. And in this case, I'm thinking of, can I get the knee a little closer, the bent knee a little closer to the floor, and start to feel a bit of stretchiness in the back of the thigh in this bent knee position. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And before we come out, you might want to rock a little. If it feels good, straighten out the bottom leg. This could be one last thing to go. This is where I notice my tight hip flexors. You may be more comfortable than I am here, hopefully. But work with whatever's true in your body today. Inhale and exhale. Gradually unravel both legs, bring the feet flat to the mat. Take a moment to swing your knees a little side to side, unwind hips, back to center. Bring the left knee into the chest, clasp behind the thigh. So we've got a few things to do here. The first thing will be the resisting stretch. So shrug the shoulders down and press the back of your thigh into the interlaced fingers. Then gradually the leg gets straighter until, remember, the stopping point is a sensation stopping point. It's not how straight the leg is. It's what do you feel in the back of the leg? And then slowly relax the effort, let the knee bend. take a breath, check in with the shoulders. You might roll the head a little. And let's go back again. The same, resist the thigh into the hands, keep the resistance, and then start straightening the leg to wherever it goes and then stay there. Make sure you're breathing. Check in with your neck. It might want to help more than it needs to. Now let the knee bend. We'll come into left leg happy baby. First, hold the hand, hold behind the thigh. And again, I'm thinking, how close can I bring the knee down toward the floor? Can I start to feel a little stretchiness in the back of this thigh? And then if you like, you can walk the hand up to the shin or to the ankle or foot. You might rock a little while you're here. You might extend the bottom leg or not. You choose. Notice what you feel in your body. Be willing to feel uncomfortable sensations as we get into either challenging poses or things that are stretching and feel sticky and tight. But there's no need to endure pain in a joint, especially anything sharp. Take good care of yourself. When you're ready, both knees bend, feet go flat to the mat, heel toe the feet out wide, mat width or even wider if you like. And take a nice, slow, luxurious windshield wiper tilt to one side. And a nice, slow, luxurious sweep to the other side. Just like that. And once you've visited each side equally, return to center, walk your feet in, hug both knees into your chest. They can be close, or you can give yourself a little extra room. Curl your nose up to your knees if you like. Leave your head down if you prefer. Definitely breathe. Inhale and exhale. If the head is lifted, lower it down. And then from here, lower the left foot flat to the mat, cross the right ankle on top. So your choice of hip stretch, either raise the crossed over legs, reach the hands either through the legs so they're clasped behind the left thigh. In this case, bringing the crossed over legs in toward the chest more should create more of a sense of stretchy tug in the outer right hip. You can also have your arms some other way. You can put the bottom knee down, or rather the bottom foot down, and use the hands to hug and adjust the shin. We're after getting a stretch to the outer right rotators of the hip. So you should feel it sort of deep in the outer right buttock or hip area. And if you don't quite feel the stretch there, be patient and try a little different position. This is one of those poses that can be frustrating at first, and then as the more we do it and the more we find like, oh, this is the sweet spot for me, the easier it gets to find when we go back into it. And this is for sure one of the spots that when I'm teaching in the room, I tend to walk around and give different suggestions to folks. Unwind this leg. And before we change sides, take some circles with the knee. Let that hip move around. And go to the other side. Or
rule of thumb, generally speaking, is start with the same variation you started with on side one. So if you have the left leg crossed over and you reach through for thread the needle on the first side, try that as your first option for the second side and adjust according to what you feel. Oh, there's a lot more stretch here. Okay, don't try to go in as much as the other side if this one's tighter. Go for maybe the same level of sensation. Recognize that it may be a different position in the body. And breathe. Breathe and breathe and breathe. Inhaling. Exhaling. You can rock while you're here. Check in with the shoulders, the neck, the jaw. Take a few more breaths. When you're ready, unwind. Place the bottom foot down, circle the ear around. Give your hip joint a chance to move in all the ways it would like to move right now. We'll take a last twist. I'm going to show one with one bent knee, one straight leg. You can choose another one, even one that you make up in the moment, so that it feels good for you. Hug your right knee into the chest and stretch the left leg out long. And keep the left hand on the right knee. The other arm opens out to the side. Rock. Rock your way into the twist. Breathe. And see that your neck is well taken care of in your twist. That there's some room between your earlobes and your shoulders. No shoulders crowding the ears. And that even in this twist that naturally, just mechanically, makes it more challenging to breathe, can you send a little extra breath into the side of your rib cage that's facing the ceiling? Imagine breathing up into that side of the chest and shoulder and armpit, upper back. Take a really generous inhale, exhaling your way back to center and changing sides. You might be bringing the left knee in, stretching the right leg out, or doing whatever other twist you did on side one. If the left knee is bent, the right hand is holding the knee and the other arm opens out to the side, rocking gently up and over, coming into the twist. Breathing in, breathing out. Invite the breath into the side of the rib cage that's facing the ceiling, and then up into the upper chest, shoulder, armpit, upper back. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Unwind gently. If you hear a little voice in the background, that's my husband working from home at the moment. Bring the knees into the chest, Rock side to side. And when you're ready, if there's anything else, maybe a little happy baby on both sides, any other movement you'd like to do before Shavasana, take a moment for that now. Drape your legs over a pillow, a blanket, a bolster, or stretch them straight out on your mat. And as you settle in, if you want something underneath your head for support, place that. And as you get things kind of settled, take your hands behind your head and use your hands to make your neck longer. So you're lifting your head just a touch, but really you're lengthening the neck. Your chin will come down a little and then gently lay your head down. Once again, you will be your own massage therapist today. Oh yeah, some of you guys are trained in this. All right, rock your head a little if that feels good. Melt your shoulders. Take a breath in and squeeze all the muscles. Exhale, let it go. Let the toes, feet, and ankles rest. Let the calf muscles, knees relax. Let the thigh muscles, gluteal muscles rest. Let the pelvis, pelvic organs, the abdomen, let that entire area rise and fall gently, like it did when we had the block rising and falling. Allow the low back to uncoil, let the upper back spread out. Let the fingers, hands, wrists rest. Let the forearms, elbows, and upper arms relax. Let the collarbones broaden and the shoulders melt toward the earth. Swallow and relax the throat, allowing the muscles in the front of the throat and around the collarbones and upper chest to pacify. Be calm. Let the tongue rest in the mouth. Let the cheeks and the facial muscles relax. Let the eyes and the eyelids rest. Stay right here as the body relaxes.
Gently deepen the breath. Begin to move the hands and feet and the arms and legs. On an inhale, stretch the arms out. Take a generous, long stretch. When you're ready, draw one knee in, then both. Rock a little side to side. As you rock, head over to one side and pause. And press up to seated. As you find your way to upright, bring your palms together in front of your heart. And as the palms gently press together, feel the width across the collarbones, the spaciousness. May you be protected from inner and outer harm. May you be truly joyful and deeply peaceful. May you see the beauty of your own inner goodness. And may you share it with those you connect with today, whether in person or online. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Ann. That was great.
Thank you. Thank you. See you next week.
See you. Anna, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, sure.
The book, I got the book, the Sutra, Radiate Sutra. I love it. It's different sutra from the one we learn in the green book from the Degastikachar, right?
Oh, yeah.